probably 12 or 13 different schools in Atlanta. It's pretty easy to get into them because you tell them you're volunteering and you'll do whatever they want you to do. So they open the door and they say, come on in. And I started seeing a lot of patterns exist amongst the students, and almost all the students were of color. And I realized that maybe the problem distilled to teachers were teaching subjects and not teaching students. You pay a little attention to who they are and let them tell you who they are, and then allow yourself to show them who you are, then maybe you get somewhere. I have learned to do this poem myself. I've allowed it to be done by others at school board meetings where there was some tension and I had some people looking for me. So I said, yeah, you better do it yourself so that you can speak in the voice that you intend this to be delivered in. And art is art, so it's going to be whatever it's going to be to whoever hears it. So I'll give it to y'all, and then y'all can let me know what you think. All right. Why, oh why can't Johnny read? It's probably because the brother's name is Khalid. Yet the majority of so-called experts have agreed on the cultural ideas that they would force feed. Now, why, oh why can't Johnny write? Because instead of him creating, he just has to recite. We offer him a perspective that he finds quite trite, then have the gall to try to label him as not too bright. Why, oh why can't Johnny do math? Might it be that he fails to see the relevance of its path? Now he'll tell you that he's tried to get it, but not yet he hath. Its oddities sometimes confuse and ultimately draw his wrath. Now why, oh why can't Johnny lead? Maybe we've instilled in him a false way to succeed. Servitude and loving take backseats to greed. Destiny and purpose are supplanted by need. But why, oh why can't Johnny create? Perhaps it's because the boy just can't relate to the stark and cold reality that continues to await solutions to the problems of our existing state. Now why, oh why can't Johnny think? Maybe it's because we've not shown him the missing link between ideas and paper and that pen of ink that leads a horse to water and also helps him drink. That's Johnny, y'all.
Thank you, D. Brown. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I know
It's been
I
a
have.
while.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I'm the first person that hears this stuff.
Yeah, so Johnny is probably, I wrote this in 2002. That gives it
Johnny
about
old.
18 years. Yeah, long time, long time. So Dr. Green was telling y'all that he's heard about that, keeping that pen in your pocket and something to write on. And I am a man of my word. I put that in my pocket before I put a wallet in my pocket every day, and keep it all on there. I'm gonna get her doing it too. I hadn't messed with her about it yet though. Not yet.
I have to interject. So when you say why, oh why, definitely Johnny Boy Green.
No, D-Mac, I promise you now, I wrote this to him. I really did. But because, see, if you're going to give those kids anything, man, I learned that every day I go in there. You got to instill in them, you got to get them to want to know why, because they kind of don't. Right. They kind of don't. Whatever you hand them, they'll hand it back to you in as minimal a fashion as possible to get on to the next thing, and you have to inspire them to get a little bit more than that, and whatever path they're going to follow. You have to instill in them the sense of wonder and inquiry. You have to, that's your job. You got to give that to them.
Well, Derek, can I interject? I don't know how much we're supposed to be engaging and how much we're supposed to be listening.
Do your thing.
So what I will say is I think much of that current day especially is because they come from parents that don't provoke wonder. We grew up during the time, you're just a little bit younger than me. I don't know about the other people on the call, but I'm 52. And I was raised by folks who grew up farming, and my grandparents were around. They didn't say things a whole lot of times. They didn't give a lot of instructions. They said, go do. You be like, well, and they might give you a few little pieces about how to go do. And then you just gonna have to figure it out. If you messed it up, now, gal, you didn't do that, right? And then it would be some additional instruction, maybe a little bit more coaching. Then you go back and do it. You half wash dishes, all the dishes get pulled out, and you do it again. You whatever little piece of something you had to keep your clothes in, if you got pieces hanging out, everything will be in the middle of the bed. We close the gaps. We don't have the time. We don't have not that we don't have it. We're not willing to take it, because I always tell people, my daddy was gone most of my life. My daddy drove trucks for 40 years. And so when we were younger, at best, he was home with us maybe a day and a half out of a week. And the amount of stuff that my brothers and I got from him in a day and a half was more than a lot of people got in a whole 7 days from their parents. Because so when people say, oh, I'm too tired, I'll be like, I could believe that if I didn't have the experience I had. So a lot of them not having wonder is because they've been pushed over in the corners, given devices, or just allowed to be, as opposed to when we would say, well, I ain't got nothing to do, or I'm bored. That's the last thing you wanted to do, because you were going to get instruction that you didn't want.
I feel you.
So it's the grown. Look, we actually need some classes for the grown-ups, because the grown-ups are real. My daddy said God ain't making no different kind of children. He making the same kind of children he been making. It's the grown-ups that are different. He said the things that kids say, hey, the only reason you might not have said it is because the folks you lived around didn't allow you to say it, or you said it and then you were willing to live with the consequences. He said, but as the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. The same things that come out of these kids' mouths would have come out of some of our mouths, or did come out of some of our mouths. But the parents are different. The teachers are, oh my God, the teachers are different.
I got you. All right. I appreciate that, because the focus of all my content is to get us all to be the students, and to get us to kind of reimagine mentoring as this relationship of shared experiences, where both the older person and the younger person, you're just sharing your experiences with each other, and you're both learning. And that just kind of creates its own renewable energy. That's what Dr. Green has, and it keeps going. All right, so let me get my partner in here. We're gonna do one that hopefully illustrates the relationship that I have with this very special young lady here. So some of you know, when she was born, I came home and I stayed with her and just kind of huddled myself up to say, yeah, man, I'm a stay-at-home dad. And then I learned not to really tell anybody that, because you sound like the highest level of derelict in our society if you're at home and your wife is somewhere professing and building a career while you are changing 23 diapers in a day. That was my 1 day record, man. We did 23 one day, and that's how I knew I was going to be able to hang, because I was scared up until then. What do I do if she? What do I do when she? We can handle it. So this next thing that we're going to do is called bounce. And if you're familiar with the 12 days of Christmas, this one will make sense. I wrote something that would say to my daughter, well, here's how you persevere. Here's how you take the punches, roll with it, keep going, no matter what. And I'm going to give it to you in a way that you can sing, so that no matter what happens, you hold on to these words and you keep going, keep going. All right, so next voice you will hear is our track, and then we'll lead right into the song. One.
Get the job done.
2.
You do you.
3.
We, not me.
4.
Esprit de corps.
5.
Stay alive.
6.
No quick fix.
8.
Hurry up and wait.
I know I skipped 7, but let me see you bounce. 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 Go ahead and bounce. Bounce. Right foot. Lend a hand. Dap 'em up. Understand. Goodwill to your fellow man. Master plan. Yes, we can. Left foot. Go ahead and slide. Then glide to the other side. Steering wheel. Take a ride. Dirt off your shoulder. Fortified. Gonna run it back. Here comes the 1.
Get the job done.
2.
You do you.
3.
We not me.
4.
Esprit de corps.
5.
Stay alive.
6.
No quick fix.
8.
Hurry up and wait.
I skipped 7 again, but let me see you bounce. 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 Diggity bounce. Bounce. Raise your hands to the sky. Always try. Apply. Raise the roof. Amplify. Make change. Modify. Take a closer look. Magnify. Figure it out. Clarify. Make friends. Ally. Uplift. Dignify. We're gonna close it out now. Here comes the 1.
Get the job done.
2.
You do you.
3.
We not me.
4.
Esprit de corps.
5.
Stay alive.
6.
No quick fix.
8.
Hurry up and wait.
There is no 7, y'all. Thank you for letting us bounce. All right.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Got to tell you a little story now. I wrote that one about a year ago, and it was during pollen season, which meant my head was gone, sinus infections, all that stuff. And I wrote it because it was commissioned for Hannah's gymnastics spring festival at her gym. And when I go and do a show on the road, I have this one-man band setup that I put up myself and do all the sound checks and get ready. And I wrote the song the night before the festival and just listened to it all day to try to memorize it, because it takes me forever to memorize stuff that I wrote. That's why it took me so long to start performing. So we get out, we set up, Hannah comes, Hannah's ready. I got my shirt on. I got another shirt like this that's blue, and my wife bought me both of them, so they are wife-approved wardrobe for any of my performances, so I usually wear them. So we start the festival, and I look out and I see the crowd, and I don't see anybody I know because my daughter is right behind me, and I froze like Italian ice and went down in flames. But the funny thing and the learning experience for me was she held hers down. She knew her lines and she did her lines. So the people just celebrated her while I packed all my stuff up and went home. And I had to swallow that one. It took a minute. But what I learned was, of course, you don't write the song the night before. And if you got to listen to it 100 times, then go ahead and listen to it 101 times. And that's what you do to memorize them. You don't perform them until you memorize them. It's real simple if you're patient with it. Real simple. So we're going to move right into the next one. Actually, I'm going to change channels. I want to do this one for y'all. If you're familiar with Georgia and what's been going on in Georgia the last few days, you know we've got some situations going on. And if you're me and you're on the eve of your 50th birthday, you're saying, wow, this keeps happening. And if it keeps happening, in a perfect world, I would just reach out and touch someone and stop it. But in the world we live in, I got to figure out how to do what I can do and then hold mine together and then help her hold hers together so that she can hold it down when it's her time and daddy's sitting down in the corner somewhere. So the piece I'm about to do is called Stand Your Ground, and it's dedicated to her. And it was written on the night George Zimmerman was acquitted of Trayvon Martin's murder. And we were all kind of distraught and figuring out what we were going to do. So I said, well, we're pregnant. We were about 6 months pregnant with Hannah at the time. So for me, it's like wondering what kind of world she's going to live in and exactly what I'll be able to do about it. So the word that I got was, well, what you do is you get her ready. You protect her as much as you can physically, but you protect her even more up here and up here. So without further ado, now I'm going to give this one to you. Now I lay me down to sleep. I kiss my wife and ponder deep. I wonder why. See, that's okay. Because see, all my answers tomorrow are the questions I ask today. Then I kneel and start to pray. I ask the Lord to have his way, to stay focused on a future day. Hope to keep all harm at bay, so my baby girl can play. Jump on me, yell, Daddy, yay! Master piano, dance ballet. I'm going to tell her about our wedding day, how to wait for her fiancé, and how relationships begin with, hey, then take their course, la vie c'est. Tell her to do her work for more than pay, to know when to go and when to stay. Now, I will correct her course if she should stray. I got to tell her that this world is still cray-cray, and that the brave, well, they're scared to disobey, but they sometimes do it anyway. And that only fools rush in, but the wise survey. You want to think twice, act once, avoid the fray. Tell her how accountable talk never starts with they, and how power means more than being able to sway. Then I reach amen and rise again, ready to embark, engage, and win. I keep my eyes wide shut, but with open heart. This game ain't fair, so you got to play it smart. Because the road ahead is still paved with life, despite all circumstance and strife. See, she can change the world if I maintain, stay on my grind, stay in my lane. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
Good work, D. Brown.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So
Great.
the blessing in that one is I could have written that last night. So the joy of the written word is, well, you didn't have to write it last night, but you better make sure you read it today. So you pull it out when you need it, and you give it to whoever might be blessed by it. So thank y'all. Y'all are doing me a wondrous work right here in my little heart today. And we're gonna move right into the next one. This one is called I Believe. This is our family anthem of faith, and it is a tested faith. I write about things that I wonder about, but I write even more about things that I know I have been through, in hopes that, hey, if you ever hit this too, you hang on to what you believe, and you confess what you believe in these words that are given to you. All right, so next sound you hear will be I Believe. Ready?
I believe in dreams so big that I close my eyes and see the reasons why. Tell you something I can't begin to try. Take my time and hold on to testify. Victory for me and qualify. 'Cause I believe, yes I believe.
It's all up in the air, but it ain't hit the ground. Better catch what you can. Can you hear me now? I grind, hustle, and flow and never no-show. I say give me the dough, but you say uh-oh. Didn't you know this was pro bono? Under my breath, I'd be like uh-oh. Then in my Astro voice, I'd be like ruh-roh. Catch-22s are a no-no. Watch out now for Mr. So-and-so-so. Art of the deal, pay on the low-low. Then you stay rich and I stay po-po. Seen it coming, moving in slow-mo. Bottom line though, this poco loco. But I better know, don't say I know so. Keep it to myself and then I grow. But let me leave you alone, it's time to go.
I believe in dreams.
Cause I still believe, right?
That
But please help my unbelief.
I see the reason
Thank you.
why. Tell you something I can't begin to try. Take my time and hold on to testify. Victory is for me. I qualify. 'Cause I believe. Yes, I believe.
Didn't write the book, but I told the tale. Blood, sweat, and so many tears, minus the details. Spent the best of my years planning and scheming, to spend the rest of my years hoping and dreaming. Faced the worst of my fears, kicking and screaming. Now I switched up careers, podcasting, streaming. Study war no more, I think like Sun Tzu. Know what I'm fighting for and share it with you. Resume say I only teach a baby. The games that they play make way out of no way. This ain't for play, I do it for the payday. The family vacate and the 401k. And so that I stay 1 foot out, so maybe I have some say on 2 day and the next day. Detour but no delay. Right on time cause I'm great. And just a little cray to speak up for Mayente.
I believe in dreams.
'Cause I love my people,
so
y'all.
big that I close my eyes and see the reason
Sing that.
why. Tell you something I can't begin to try. Take my time and hold on to testify. Victory is for me. I qualify. 'Cause I believe. Yes, I believe.
Good job. All right.
We need to fire you, D Brown, with the stars in the middle there. We're gonna cut you out, man.
Well, you do see where she's sitting, right?
She's going
Yes,
to
in the
retire
sense.
you. She's going to retire you sooner than you think.
Well, this is the plan, because now I will admit to all of you now, I have written 46 songs since she was born, and I recorded all of them. And the idea first was, okay, ain't nobody trying to hear me rap or sing, nothing. So you do it like Luther Vandross did back in the day. You put the guide vocal down and then let people come in and see how the song's supposed to be sung until somebody listens to it and says, well, wait a minute. Why would I get somebody else to sing it when you can sing it like that, man? You sing it. So I write them all for her, and if she chooses to redo the whole catalog, I am blessed. But I'll at least show her, well, here's what the song means to daddy, all right? So take what it means to daddy and then combine it with what it means to you and exceed me by all means, right? Exceed me. So we did the show for my mama a couple of days ago, who is the toughest audience imaginable, and one of the pastors at my church. And they both separately came back to me and said, hey, bruh, you know where you had her sitting and where you were sitting? Y'all need to switch. So that's why she's there now. That's why she's there. And holding it down now. She's holding it down.
So with all that having been said, with me not really knowing the whole purpose of what you were going to do today, have you watched what I told you to watch, and does it now make more sense to you?
I read about what you told me to watch. How about that?
Song Nation?
Yeah. But I got the picture now. Because see,
Okay.
I texted you and said, I love her, if I'm saying her name right. The artist.
Yeah. I call her also.
I love her. Yes, sir.
Yes.
And if I had watched that with anybody else, it wouldn't have said anything to me. But watching it with her was like, hey. Hey,
I'm gonna challenge you on that because the chick I just watched this week, she's a white girl. I think she's out of the UK. I can't remember her name, but the the guest artists that they have on there, the ones I've seen this season and a couple of the ones because this is the second season. I only got started watching it because somebody was helping me with something and they were rushing me through. You need to hurry up because I got to watch Song Nation. I was like, what in the world is that? And so then, me being me, I had to see what Song Nation was. And I watched a couple of episodes, and then her was the third one of the season. But even because there's a young white guy who went to Berkeley School of Music, and he got emotional a couple of times because he talked about his journey because he wanted to be basically a jazz artist, a pianist or whatever, but he writes songs. And so he talked about, I never even expected to be here, and he kind of talked about his journey. So you're going to find some folks that, because they're songwriters, I think they're different than the other people in the industry. They perform, a lot of them perform their own work, but because I think most of them are songwriters at their core, it's a little different than some of the egomaniacal stuff you get from just performers. Because even the three judges, them, especially two of them jokers. One is the lead writer, I think, for One Republic. I can't think of his name. And then there's Esther Dean, and she's written a lot of the stuff that we hear from Katy Perry. She's written for Beyonce. She's written for a whole lot of people, and she's the only Black one on there. And then there's a white guy who's from the country genre. But to watch them deconstruct songs or say, okay, I heard the words, but we need to change this because the message you're trying to deliver, so one person wrote a song called Hate Love.
hmm.
And by the time Esther finished it, they still used the exact same words, but it meant something totally different.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you actually go and watch it and watch the guys who are the judges and whoever the guest is that day, watch them deconstruct and rebuild a song. A lot of times not even changing the words, but either changing where the words come in, where the bridge is, or how, yeah, you got to watch it. And again, I didn't have any idea what you were trying to do today, but now even more so, you got to watch Song Nation.
Oh, but trust me, I didn't know what I was trying to do either. Other than, hey man, show these people what you got. Because for the most part, I keep it all in my pocket. So just show it to them. Show it to them. Okay, so yeah, let's do. You want to do Move? Come on now, stay with me. Let's do Move. Yeah, you just follow along. Okay, so this one is a solo track for Daddy, but Hannah still helps out with it. It's called Move, and this one is one of my more ambitious musical productions. Because just to let everybody know, now I make all this music too, and a lot of times these are tracks that I might have made 15, 20 years ago, but they bang, so I still use them. I found ways to use them. This one has like a marching band kind of flow.
Are you gonna let us hear that? Because we only hear you lyrically. We don't hear any music when you're performing.
Oh wow! I'm glad you said that. That is that's an oversight. I was supposed to share the screen. Yes. Well, I'm glad you said that.
I just thought it was a cappella. I was great a cappella.
I end up doing a lot of them a cappella anyway, but no, I got music, man. I got music.
And I knew the one that you and Hannah just did because you posted it on Facebook. So
Yeah.
let's listen to the actual music.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I got tracks, y'all. I'm sorry. All right.
Sometimes you just gotta have a Wendy in the room.
Yeah, well, hey man. That's why you're here, baby. That's why you're here. All right. So let me know if you can hear me now. Yeah, give me a second.
Well, we're in a different place.
All right. Here we go. This dream is all I have, but it's all I need. Hurry up and wait. Ready, set, then proceed. Got a long way to go, ain't nothing guaranteed. Learning to follow is the only way you learn to lead. I'll get what's mine when it's time if I sow a seed. My peace of mind says I'm kinda a different breed. Gotta grind till I find how to build up speed. Every step I take helps me to succeed and move. Get out of your own way, move. Say what you need to say, move. Work hard but then go pray, move. Go ahead and start today. I'm a bad man, please understand. I'm bad cause I was worse and had to break a curse of putting myself first in every rhyming verse. But the bubble burst, had to quench a thirst. Hit the brakes, throw it in reverse. No more angry outbursts. Now I still speak my peace as I speak my peace. Through healing and release, I let the battle cease. I do because I don't. I will because I won't. I am because I'm not. Stay cool cause I'm still hot. I know that I don't know. Study up so I can show a way we can follow. A humble path to grow. This is my story, y'all. This dream is all I have, but it's all I need. Hurry up and wait. Ready, set, then proceed. Got a long way to go, ain't nothing guaranteed. Learning to follow is the only way you learn to lead. I get what's mine when it's time if I sow a seed. My peace of mind says I'm kinda a different breed. Gotta grind till I find how to build up speed. Every step I take helps me to succeed and move. Get out of your own way, move. Say what you need to say, move. Work hard but then go pray, move. Go ahead and start today. Wheels are turning, I know I'm learning. My heart is burning, my feet are churning, but I get this feeling that although I'm dealing that, I hit the ceiling that, feel like I'm reeling, so I get back to kneeling it. I keep on healing it. He starts revealing what I am concealing it. I start confessing it. I start addressing it. I get that blessing with it. I learn the lesson in it. I start assessing it. Stop all the guessing it. I keep processing it. I keep progressing it. I keep finessing it. Keep on impressing it. Rinse and repeat, y'all. This dream is all I have, but it's all I need. Hurry up and wait. Ready, set, then proceed. Got a long way to go, ain't nothing guaranteed. Learning to follow is the only way you learn to lead. I get what's mine when it's time if I sow a seed. My peace of mind says I'm kinda a different breed. Gotta grind till I find how to build a speed. Every step I take helps me to succeed and move.
So you had your music a little too loud. It was hard to hear you completely above it. I could hear you, but you need to take the music down a little bit, or either you need to be louder.
Gotcha. I can
And
do
I think
both.
you might have been that one might have been written for me, huh?
Where did that one come from? I actually don't remember right off the bat. I wrote it last year. I know I wrote it last year. Yeah, I don't totally remember the story, so just be blessed by it. I couldn't even tell you where it came from. Couldn't tell you.
So D Brown, the music. So did you put that all together yourself?
Yeah. Now I had one. If you could remember the horns, the tubas. Yeah, that was me. I got one loop I got from somebody in that one, but I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, I needed one instrument to finish it off, and I got that from somebody else and just laid the rest of them down. I was trying to make something I could swag surf to at my age, like swag surf in a safe way.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive.
All right, thank you.
And if you like, I don't know, are you familiar with an artist? She's a rap artist named Rhapsody.
No.
She's here out of North Carolina. Listen to her. If you like her, you'll like Rhapsody, because she's like the rap version, but she's not just rap. She works with Ninth Wonder. Are you familiar with Ninth Wonder?
No.
So Ninth Wonder is he started out as a rapper, but he's a producer. He actually teaches a couple of classes over at Duke, and also he went to NC State, but he teaches classes at Duke and NCCU around the language and the history of hip hop, and its impact. And he co-teaches one of the ones at Duke with Mark Anthony Neal, who's the department chair of the African American Studies at Duke.
Okay.
But look him up. You can find him on Instagram. You can find stuff about him. And he actually still lives here locally. He did an interview with, I must say, Jamel Hill on Unbothered
Okay.
recently. And so I didn't really know Rhapsody until they were talking about her on, and she had just dropped the CD, and it is fire.
All right.
But she's a native North Carolinian. I want to say she's from like Winterville or something, from the eastern part of the state.
All right. All right. Hey, Johnny Green, now, out of curiosity, what are you tuned in on, a laptop or a tablet?
I am on my laptop where I take calls for over 8 hours a day, over 5 days a week, and I've already had 2 work calls this morning. That's not normal, but yes, I'm in my. This is my spot. This is my new home office right here.
Now, is it a Mac or a PC?
It is a Mac.
It
Mac,
is.
It's new. Actually, I just got a new Mac. It's a 16-inch MacBook Pro.
All right. How does the bass sound, man? I hate to take it to the street, but how does the bass sound?
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
All right. All right. Because, see, I got the monitors on, so that's what kind of controls my volume, like my singing volume. And I got, I got the track in my ear. So, Wendy, what are you what kind of laptop are you listening on?
I am on a ThinkPad Yoga.
Okay.
Let me see. It's a X1 Yoga. So yeah, and mine is new also.
All right. You got it just playing into the air, or you got the earbuds?
It's playing into the air. No earbuds.
Okay.
I was too late. I look, after having to wear it, and I definitely, once y'all have, it's too tight on my head. I can't do it. So yeah, I just let it play into the house. Unless I have to, if there's too much stuff going on, I will put either the Bluetooth, but very rarely can I wear the ones y'all have all day or for a long period of time. They squish my brain.
Oh, no. See, I got these now because they're very comfortable. And I can keep them on all day because I got to have the monitor so I can hear what's going on. Because when I was testing, y'all don't see this now, but I got an iPad, I got a ThinkPad, and a Dell tablet all on this table. So when I do a session, I'm tuned in on all these stations so I can actually hear what you would hear. I just don't try to perform like that now because there's about a half-second delay. And if you try to perform while you're listening to what comes back, it will drive you insane. So you gotta keep the monitors on. But I use that for testing just so I know how it sounds. And I found that the iPads, man, I got an iPad 3, it doesn't produce any bass. And that just hurt me. It really did hurt me. So I'm glad.
Fortunately for me, I don't have enough hair and brains for it to hurt, so I can wear these all day and it's okay.
Yeah, well, I need the bass, man. The bass is a very important part of these tracks. Trust me. The lyrics are important, but the bass is too.
You gotta have bass.
You gotta have bass. Thank you. D-Mac, one time, man. One time.
Spoken by true brothers.
No, well, my pastor, who is a brother, he said the same thing. And I said, I thought I was the only one. He was like, no, all the brothers say that, man. You gotta have bass.
Brothers gotta have bass.
All right. Well, now that we got the music going, I think we got one more to try for you. And this is going to be our first time doing it together. I think this is my first time doing it in front of people too. This one's called What They Say. And it is a song of identity. A particular form of identity is self-identity. It's who you say you are and how you hold on to that when you inevitably run into crowds of people who try to define and redefine you based on what they see and what they think. What they see and what they think really is none of your business. And you can't control it, but you counter it by understanding and holding on to who you know yourself to be. So let me get that one together. And we'll let her rip. Good.
Stand strong, don't play. Count the cost and pay. No time for play. Focus and don't stray. Some won't, some may. Patience conquers delay. Speak peace, pray. Don't worry about what they say.
You're a different kind, different by design, character defined, footloose yet refined, living on cloud 9. You're a plus sign, don't need no light to shine, lead them from behind, think like a mastermind, give them peace of mind, willing to cross the line, willing to realign, willing to recombine, be a lifeline, protect the pipeline, protect the front line, protect the gold mine, from the landmine, protect the waistline, from the punchline, make sure the bloodline, know about the floodline, watch out for the grapevine, turn water into wine, assume then opine, critique and then malign, press then confine, predict a quick decline, don't take the hard line, check them offline, if they should remind, remember don't rewind.
Strong, don't play, count the cost and pay, no time for play, focus and don't stray, some won't, some may, patience conquers delay, speak peace, pray, don't worry about what they say.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of telling your own story, project exploratory, freedom like Montessori, uncharted territory, legacy depository, auditory oratory, ain't got no category, dug up from the quarry, creative repertory, made in my laboratory, plenty inventory, purpose is preparatory, comprehension mandatory, may be compensatory, finding Nemo, finding Dory. Haters say, man, he swore he, some kind of sort of prophet. The more he talks that talk, the less I hear for he must be stuck on stupid or he don't see that we ignore he, don't see that we close the door he don't pay no mind to Lori, don't listen to Tori Mori Corey.
Stand strong, don't play, count the cost and pay, no time for play, focus and don't stray, some won't, some may, patience conquers delay, speak peace, pray, don't worry about what they say.
Need one shot, just like Robert Ory, to produce compelling allegory. Speak my truth but not defamatory. Peaceful vibes are more conciliatory, sensitive and participatory. Picture scenes from the observatory. Dreams deferred but anticipatory. Paid in full on that promissory. Memories can be inflammatory. Anxiety, nice depilatory. Vengeance, equally predatory. Eye for an eye, retaliatory. What goes around becomes circulatory. Forgive them, wash in the laboratory. Lessons learned a priori. Wisdom earned a posteriori.
Stand strong, don't play, count the cost and pay, no time for play, focus and don't stray, some won't, some may, patience conquers delay, speak peace, pray, don't worry about what they say.
All right. Yeah, that was first time around. What'd you think?
I could hear the bass. It was.
Oh yeah.
Sounds awesome. It was great.
Oh yeah. I got that one amped up.
And you definitely adjusted it such that you were over the music this time. You weren't underneath the music.
Okay. All right.
Well, speaking of what they say, did you all see that Andre Harrell passed away and Little Richard?
I saw that and I'm like, okay, I wonder if they're talking about that Andre Harrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if it was COVID related. Little Richard had cancer. He was 87 and his was cancer. His son confirmed his was cancer. Haven't heard anything about what Harrell's was. But I just know when you say what they say, and I just think about, him kind of doing, both of them kind of doing it their own way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Remember them both. Because now he's Andre Harrell is responsible for Puff Daddy.
And
Right.
Mary J.
Yeah. So right. All right. Well, that is what we wanted to share with you, and it worked for us because you want to perform and then stop and listen. and your blessing comes in what you hear and what you see in everyone's countenance, because Zoom is real cool for that, as long as you remember your delay. It's like, okay, man, they ain't hearing it as soon as you say it. You give it a couple of seconds, and then you'll see, you'll see that they got it. So I appreciate you for many things, man. Most of all, just being able to see you and know who all of you are in the room, and be able to basically see my life, because I see my life as I go from the left side to the right side, past, present, and future. And the idea, what has been shown to me, is the circle of life is a continuum. And what you want to do, man, is keep everybody who has ever been part of it. You want to keep them near and dear. And boy, if you can ever get them all together, you do that. So there have been many things that have come out of this COVID-19 circumstance. But for us, I have had 51 days, man, to sit down and dream and plan and figure out what I'm going to do when we get back to normal, to make sure that whatever that normal is, I'll be the antithesis of that normal whenever it is decided. So a lot of what you're seeing now, we're going to actually do this summer in this virtual space, but we'll try to do it the same way we would do it if we were all in the same room. Everything I'm doing is purpose towards discipleship. So when I'm out in the real world where they think discipleship involves space alien creatures and reprogramming, I call it fellowship, but it's the same thing. You're trying to intentionally build relationships with people who might be a little relationship averse. So in the high school that I work in, I work with young people every day that want to be on a phone, and we teach in an online program. So we pull them off the phone and stick them in front of a computer. And all the mind gets stuck in front of a computer to deal with and engage math, which they would rather have a hole in their sneakers than deal with math. So that gives us a tricky landscape to work in, but it helps me get better at what I'm doing, to figure out how to relate to them, knowing that I'm the guy who teaches the stuff that they can't stand more than they can't stand anything else. And it works. It definitely works, because she's in the class of 2032. So I said, well, I guess I might be retiring as a teacher the year that she graduates, and I will be the 64-year-old daddy that everybody thinks is her granddaddy. So I will try my best to just be dressed appropriately and kind of young and not play the stereotype, because they're going to call me her granddaddy. I get it. But that's okay.
How are you using this as a part of your instructional strategy in the math classroom?
Oh, no, because I would have been fired very quickly. Very quickly. What I do, and the crisis, if you will, created a great opportunity for me. Now that we're not at school, whenever a kid calls me, they can call me and we can just talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I can mess around and actually talk to them about something besides math, which might let us mess around and actually engage and relate to each other about something that they like.
So that you can get them back to the math.
Yeah, and we'll get them back to the math. Now, what I do in the classroom, since I'm on the government's dime there, I have developed a lot of stuff that says, okay, well, given they are either on that phone or on that computer, how can I interrupt them just enough to have conversations, and have conversations that are somewhat related to what we are studying? So I have developed this series of crossword puzzles, and I published a batch of them probably after I had been there about a month. I walk around with a crossword puzzle on a clipboard, and the puzzles are called Final Exam. And every question on the puzzle is what we would call a word problem. And it's a word problem that is not tied to any of the courses that they are in. It's tied to stuff that I know is real world stuff.
But it's math.
Yeah, if I'm selling t-shirts at the flea market, right? And I paid $5 for them, and I sold them for $10, and I sold 100 of them. How much did I make? God, please tell me you made $500.
500.
Please tell me you made $500.
D Brown, you know what, D Brown?
I know
You
math.
know math.
I know math. I know math. And trust me, see, as easy as that problem might sound to everybody on this call, that one ain't obvious. Oh, that one ain't obvious. So what I do, based on teaching strategies I have learned, is I remediate with that same problem. Next
hold
time,
on,
go ahead.
but let's be realistic. Even with a lot of adults,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's not going to be obvious because they don't. So when people hear revenue, they don't understand there's a difference between profit and, even though they're two different words, not most, many adults don't get the delineation between profit and revenue.
Yeah. So the best feedback I get from the kids, now in perfect world, the best feedback is you get the problem right. But the best feedback I get from them is when I ask them a question that they have seen before, and they come at you like, "Why you keep asking me about figuring out how much money I'm making?" And
Because
you
that's what
just,
your life's going to be
well,
about, baby.
you don't answer it. I don't even answer them. I just say, "Look, man, I'm old. This is just all I got. That's all I got. So if you will indulge me, I'm gonna keep coming to you with this until I come up with something better. Is that all right?" It's all right. It's all right.
Well, I was going to say, now, you know, you and I have a little different strategy because when I was in the K-12 classroom, I would eventually have some of the ones who gave me the most trouble come out. We know you really ain't mean now, that you just have high expectations and you want a lot. You just seemed really mean initially. I told y'all I didn't care. That I wasn't, they was gonna give me the same check, whether y'all thought I was mean or nice. You get to decide how we gonna do this. We can do this easy or we can do this hard. I got practice at doing both. You pick. I don't care.
And Wendy, now the other thing I did that just went over with them very well is, see, they are prone to making mistakes.
Oh,
So,
really?
so I have written a batch of problems called "My Bad."
Oh, but you
With,
know what?
with
That's no different than the textbook. Well, you know, we don't really have textbooks no more. But the textbooks that I enjoyed the most were the ones that had where's the problem? What's the problem? Can you, because you know what? They learn so much more from having to figure out what went wrong than trying to get the right answer.
Yeah. Well, what happens with these now is I purposely make a mistake and say, "Hey, I put the decimal point in the wrong place and wrote a check for 8,000 instead of 800. How much money have I given away? I gave away
Too
$7,200.
much.
Oh my
Too
God!"
much.
Yeah, really.
Too much.
Way too much.
But watch now. But see, that shows them in an even-handed fashion. Hey man, there's a cost for not knowing what the heck you're doing. All right, there's a cost, but you let them see it instead of saying it. You show them, you don't tell them, and they get it, and they'll let you tell them again when they're the ones who say, "Oh, wait a minute." Now, what's funny is when there's a purposeful mistake, that's when they mess around and actually do the problem right, and you just laugh like, "Okay."
I'm gonna give you real world because you got a person sitting there beside you that you. So when we used to go to the store, and I was just using a card or either using my own cash. You know, I have twins. One shows up, and my rule is I got a price point for what I'm willing to pay for a shirt, for what I'm willing to pay for shoes, what I'm willing to pay for whatever. Um, and so I tell you what my price point is. If you come to me with something that's above and beyond the price point, you're going to need to tell me why I should pay more for this since it's above and beyond my price point. I had one child that would just show up. Oh, mommy, I want this. How much it costs? I don't know. Then why are you talking to me? I'm not talking to you. You know what the rule is. You can't tell me how much it is. I can't talk to you. So when they got in the 8th grade, we started putting money in their hand for school. We weren't going to decide. And so it was interesting to see the turn in how money was perceived when it actually had to flow, even though you didn't earn it, when it had to flow out of your hand.
Yeah.
Now you can buy, I gave you $500. You can buy one piece, 5 pieces, or 10 pieces. I don't care how many pieces you buy. This is the money you have for school. Figure out what you want. And if you decide you want 5 pieces, those are the 5 pieces you have for school. It was amazing how much. I can't believe these people want this much they want this much money for this thing. Really? Because when I was the one just paying with my card, or the money was coming out of my physical hand, you didn't seem to care.
Yeah.
But you know, and so that's what I'm thinking. Because after a while, I was like, "Oh, this is just good to me." So yeah, mommy, I can't believe they want this much for this. I can't either, girl. I can't either. But it's amazing when people have to have their own experience. And again, this wasn't even, Lord, when they started earning their own money, all those conversations went to a whole nother level. But when the money actually had to leave their hands and they had to make the decision and were told there was going to be no more, they became much more in tune with the impact of their financial decisions.
Yeah. Look, I'm gearing up for that pathway now with my little scholar here. But she's pretty sharp, man. Johnny, she knows math, man.
I would be upset if she didn't with you and her mama.
Yeah, she knows math, and she gets it in a very honest and balanced way. Because see, mama is pretty formal in her approach and regimented, and that is freestyling, and that is about money. It's just figure out how much money you got or how much money you need. So we're gonna start on the rule of 72 soon now, because I get a lot of traction with that with my students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got $1,000 and you invested at 12%. How long does it take for 1,000 to become 2,000? Boy, when you tell me 6 years, I'm like, okay, you are on your way. You remember that? You can jack everything else up, but just remember that one. I'll be all right. All right, family. We're going to sign off now so I can let this young'un go and get herself something to eat. And I'll be in touch with you again. I'm supposed to be doing this for my 50th birthday, which is actually tomorrow. So if anybody's around, I'll shoot you another invite. If you got some time to come back tomorrow, we'll do it all again tomorrow, but it'll look different. I'll have the music on and have that situated tomorrow. But I appreciate you coming. I love all of you. And I thank you. Thank you for just being able to see your faces.
Appreciate you, Barry.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right, you take care.
All right, Hannah. Good job, buddy.